There's no surprise that the Indiana Fever looked best tonight when Caitlin Clark was surrounded by players that don't have an ego, surrounded by players that said, I'm going to be MVP of the WNBA this year. You see how easy it is when you just let Caitlin play ball and others follow suit?
At last, after months of battling doubt and witnessing naysayers and critics seize every chance, Caitlin Clark finally reminded everyone why she is that girl. In a performance that silenced anybody who ever wondered if this team and this player were better without their superstar, the Indiana Fever not only defeated the Atlanta Dream Friday night, but completely destroyed them 99-82.
Is now a final 99-82. Right here, 29 points in the third quarter, 30 points in the fourth quarter. That might be the best second half of the season, the best fourth quarter of the season. Look at these bench points. 29 bench points tonight. And they withstood an absolute barrage by Jordan Canada, who had 26 points in the first half.
The critics claimed that without Clark, the Fever was better. She was ball dominant, they said. When she wasn't on the floor, they said the team had additional weaponry. So, where are they right now? Because that story was completely destroyed in what we saw on Friday night. It all began when Clark demonstrated that she could control the game without controlling the scoreboard.
An inconsistent ride for Indiana and for Clark as well, who's had to fight through a lot of injuries. But I think the encouraging thing from Cece was the fight that she showed on the floor. Clearly, she's not quite at 100%, still working her way back, hasn't found her three ball yet, but what she did was attack. She used the physicality against the defenders by putting her head down and going to the basket. That opened things up for her playmaking, which of course is another genius aspect of her game. Once that started clicking,
Let's discuss what actually transpired in this situation. In a masterclass effort, Sophie Cunningham scored 16 points and pulled down 10 rebounds after coming off the bench like a woman possessed. This is the lovely part, though. Cunningham wasn't acting this way to spite Clark. Cunningham was playing as a result of Clark. You could feel the intense chemistry between these two in every single possession.
Sophie Cunningham, folks, this might have been the best Sophie Cunningham game she's played so far for the Indiana Fever. When she hit those nail-in-the-coffin threes against the Minnesota Lynx, we were already up in that game. Yes, nail-in-the-coffin, awesome. But we were down in the third quarter. We were down 52-47 in the third quarter. And we came back and won. And that started with Sophie Cunningham hitting a big three.
In the absence of Kane Clark, the naysayers warned us for weeks that the Fever were more dangerous. Carolyn Peake of ESPN really stated on TV that Indiana was more dangerous while Clark wasn't playing. Isn't that unbelievable? The boldness. They truly made an effort to persuade us that the WNBA's greatest rookie, the athlete who set all attendance records, and the lady who single-handedly kept the league afloat, was somehow impeding her team's progress. However, Friday night was a cold case of retaliation.
Didn't I say that they need Caitlin Clark? I mean, come on, guys. See, this is why you don't listen to ESPN. Idiots like Carolyn Peck said they are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. She should be indicted and go to jail for that comment. That's one of the dumbest comments.
Clark ended with 9 assists and 12 points. However, those figures don't accurately depict the situation. She struggled from three-point range and was only 5 of 17 from the field, but she had an impact on every possession. She was the general, the conductor, and the one elevating everyone in her vicinity. And when the team needed it most, trailing by 3 points in the third quarter, Clark's court vision and leadership converted a close game into a landslide victory.
So, the big way they were able to neutralize Caitlin Clark, and I think it was almost an issue with Stephanie White as much as anything, is they were manhandling her. They were manhandling Caitlin Clark early in that game. Like, they had two hands on her. They were fully getting into the we are grabbing her and we don't really care. Like, that was their goal. Their goal was they were out there to maul Caitlin Clark. They had absolutely no intention of doing anything other than...
Would you kindly subscribe if you're enjoying? Are you curious as to what made this game so exquisite? Sophie Cunningham emerged from the bench like a possessed woman. My gosh. Cunningham, Sophie. The Atlanta dream was completely ignited by this woman as she emerged from the bench. When it counted most, Sophie Cunningham was making all of her three-point attempts, going 4 out of 5. Clark's presence created the spacing and opportunities that led to her season-high 16 points. Players like Cunningham flourish when defenders are preoccupied with blocking Clark's drives, following her around screens, and worrying about her pulling up from 30 feet.
Let's go right here. Sophie Cunningham. Let's check it out. And she's got the long three way down. Boom. Way down. Boom. So, real nice all-around performance. Second half was great ball tonight. No doubt about it. But Stephanie White let the team cook in the...
But this is what truly set this apart. The bond between Cunningham and Clark. It was visible on the court. Cunningham was always present and prepared to go whenever Clark drove and booted. She always found Sophie for wide-open looks when Clark's dream attempted to disintegrate. This is the result of having teammates that know how to complement one another and having an exceptional basketball IQ. Sophie Cunningham is beautiful because she understands. She is aware of her job. She is aware that the game alters when Caitlin Clark is playing. We play a different kind of basketball when Sophie is playing with us, as she herself stated. When she's with us, you play the court in a different way when she's injured. It's not criticism. Basketball intelligence is that. That's knowing how to get the most out of your team.
Hey, you know what? It's about dang time. Let me tell you that. I have my... Shoot, it's been a second. I just think for the team, you know, we've had a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of movement. When C's playing, it's a whole different team. And when she's back, you know, we got to catch our rhythm. She's a heck of a player, but we got to find ways to get her involved but keep people hot. But, you know, for me, it finally felt good. It felt good. Like I said, my family's here. My sisters, my best friends. And so it just felt good to have my family here, so I thought I should do something.
Everything changed in the third quarter. With 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the third, the team is 6,360 down. For the remainder of the quarter, Atlanta was kept without a field goal by the Fever. They took an 8,067 lead after scoring the last 4 points of the third and going on an 11-2 run to start the fourth. From that moment until the last buzzer, it was double digits. This went beyond one man playing a fantastic game. This concerned how Clark's leadership raised everyone in her vicinity. With 25 points, Kelsey Mitchell lead the group. Aaliyah Boston had 8 assists and 19 points. All of a sudden, the Fever appeared to be the squad that everyone had anticipated them to be at the start of the season. The Fever equaled for the most points in any half during the previous 7 seasons with their 59 points in the second half, which also happened to be their highest points in any half this season. And it's no accident. That is the result of having a player who improves everyone around her, who draws attention even when her shots aren't falling, who, simply by being on the court, opens doors for teammates, and
be herself. We started playing an up-tempo type style that forced the Atlanta Dream to react to what we were doing. Instead of us trying to counterpunch, Atlanta Dream, they found themselves against the ropes. And there we were, Kelsey Mitchell in the third quarter, slugging away. Sophie Cunningham in the third quarter, slugging away. AB in the fourth quarter.
In relation to athletes that were unable to establish themselves, where was Brittany Gurrier? The same Brittany Gurrier, who has expressed her opinions on several league players and made it apparent that she doesn't value the attention Clark receives, remained completely mute when it counted. While her team urgently needed her to step up, Gurrier only managed a pitiful 10 points and 8 rebounds. Throughout the game, she appeared irritated and went 4 of 11 from the field, particularly when against Aaliyah Boston. She didn't do much to get any attention for herself, which is surprising for someone who is supposed to be this dominant force in the paint and who has been skeptical of other players receiving attention. This is the same Brittany Gurrier who talked about "let's get it" on social media prior to the game, and then went on to be thoroughly outplayed by a Fever team that was meant to be having trouble. This season, she's averaging career-low figures: 1.2 blocks, 5.5 rebounds, and 10 points. And Friday night made it clear why.
This game, in the second half, we didn't take our foot off the gas. We put our foot on the throat of the Atlanta Dream. We didn't tell Caitlin Clark, "Whoa there, lassie." No, we said, "Caitlin Clark, roam free. Fly like a butterfly. Flap your wings. Spread your wings. And watch the team fall."
The cliched claim that the Fever were better off without Clark has been around for months. Carolyn Peck of ESPN issued a statement saying that because Indiana was ball dominant, she was more dangerous when Clark wasn't playing. When the Fever won a few games without her while she was out due to injury, that narrative gained further traction. Here is what actually transpired, though. 2, 3, and Clark missed the last 5 games due to injuries. They had trouble finishing games. Her playmaking and pivotal moments were missed. They also had the appearance of a squad lacking its top player, which is precisely what they were. The performance on Friday night was the decisive response to all of those detractors. Clark demonstrated her value without needing to score 30 points. She demonstrated her worth without having to take 20 shots. She demonstrated that her influence extends well beyond the box score, that her presence improves each and every teammate, and that it is only when she is on the court that this team performs at its best.